I have a 10 millimeter socket. Yeah. Damn it. That's not why I'm calling. I'm calling to tell. Why am I still doing this?
Hello, I'm Tony, and welcome to the Jeep Talk Show. Welcome to the Jeep Talk Show, where we are celebrating our 15th year of delivering top-notch content to the Jeep community. Our crew is a tight-knit group of passionate Jeepers who keep this adventure rolling smoothly. On tonight's episode and our news stories, Jeep Cherokee is back, baby. They stopped it. Now they're bringing it back. I don't know. It's like the monster on horror movies? You think it's dead and then it just comes back. I'm sorry, that was mean. The 2027 Jeep Compass sketch surfaces. So that's a tease, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. Yeah. And what do you think about designing a Jeep in 2 days?
If you're good at it, it's okay.
I'm thinking they're doing it now with the Compass and the.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. If you're good at it, it could be really good.
And in Newbie Nuggets, Wendy shares some things about Jeep dogs. I mean, who doesn't like Jeep dogs? You don't see too many Jeep cats. I mean, I'm sure there's some Jeep cats out there, though.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely out there. There's probably some other kinds of critters, which will be fun to find out. So, well, howdy, it's Wendy. And has Jeep gone to the dogs? We're going to find out.
Woof. So at the time of this recording, our YouTube subscribers are up from 2.9K. That's thousands for you people that don't know what the K's for, to 5.5K, also thousands. Yeah.
That's double about.
In just a couple of weeks.
What is it? It must be our content, right? Or us, or all of us? It's the whole team.
I purchased some, not the whole soul for the devil, just a couple of weeks worth.
Just a little bit
of soul use, because I don't want to give the whole thing away.
Yeah, exactly.
not until we're successful.
Yeah.
So if you're not watching us on YouTube, you should start. Why, you say? Because we need you to watch.
Yeah, because we need those numbers to increase.
We'll just be honest about this.
Well, and truthfully, what are we going for? 10,000?
1,600,000.
1,600,000 is what we're going for. Okay, well, let's do a smaller number to get started. And make
let me ask you, who would be interested in watching a show about Jeeps? I mean, how many Jeep owners are there out there? I know they're down. I know they're down by 30%, but that's us now. That doesn't mean all the Jeeps that have been purchased.
No, there's way more than that, Tony. There has to be. Look at how many Jeeps are on the road.
Yeah, and it's not like we're into ring and pinion swaps and changing gears and putting in a new Speedo in the transfer case so you can get your miles reading correctly. It's not. We're not in the highly technical side of things. So it's just information about Jeep and some entertainment and kind of a general Jeep show, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So, I mean, it's a niche market, but it's a large market, I think.
It's huge, yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing, though. Congratulations, everybody who has tuned in to watch us on YouTube. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we really do. It's fun. It's fun seeing the numbers go because, I think that's the other thing. I think that if we had just started the show, and it was a crap show because it was a crap show when we started. But you got to learn. And and if we'd started YouTube on that first show and immediately had 10 million viewers, it'd be like, who cares, Yeah, so you have to put 15 years into it, or at least 14 and some change, and not have a huge following. So you appreciate 5.5K subscribers.
100%.
And actually, I was looking at it. The people that are on YouTube that are just doing gangbusters are far and few between, or few and far between, however you want to say it.
Oh, you mean in general, people who are doing YouTube is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And you have to stick with it all the time. I mean, you got to create content all the time for it to be large numbers, right? I mean, that's all you do.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's people out there that just have, I don't know if it's, well, I've mentioned this before. I think it has a lot to do with just what am I trying to say here? The right series of events, just catching the people the right way. Yeah. Because I've run across people on TikTok that are like singing old Carpenter songs, and they are just absolutely wonderful. I mean, they do such a great job singing those songs. I mean, I think I made the comment a couple of times is that this is great. I used to have to ride the elevators for hours to enjoy some Carpenter songs, and now I can just listen to it on TikTok. But
now, wait a minute. You're not going to just reference and say, "Hey, we need to start singing on this show," are we?
Well, hey, I don't know. Is that an untapped talent from
It is
you, Wendy?
not happening for me, because I'm pretty sure that subscriber number would be way down. Of course, you never know. When you sing really bad, maybe that's what we need to do is sing and
feel like Nikki G jokes.
Yes, exactly. Or what was that guy, Gangnam Style, did that one dance and he was famous forever, right?
Yeah. So, but my point here is that there's a lot of talented people out there. I mean, a lot of talented people, and there's only a few of them that surface to the top and make it big. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they even know how they accomplished it. No. It's just, you just say, I don't know. I just did what I did. And you don't know when you're going to resonate with people. I mean, we keep trying here with different things, talking about different things, different formats, seeing what the right thing is going to catch on with people. And hell, I'd like to know what you guys think. What is it that you would like to see more of or less of? Or
for sure. Let us know.
Maybe you want to see less of Tony. I'm for that. I'd love to have. I'd love to have people doing this thing instead of me.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy it, but
you do, and you're good at it. So who cares? Like, if they don't want to watch, that's their choice, but you have to be on the show. Yeah.
Well, I think so, but there you go. But anyway, don't forget to go over to our YouTube channel, and you can watch and comment live on our Chick Chat and Roundtable episodes. I don't if you know what that means is, Wendy, you're aware of it because this last Chick Chat we recorded.
It was fun.
You guys were live on YouTube, and we got a couple of people that were chatting with you guys while you were recording the show.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're talking back and forth, right? So here we are, Amanda and I are talking, and then you see this blurb on the screen, and you're like, do I stop in the middle of my conversation and comment, or do I wait? So we love it though. That's what I think is fun. People
it's an interaction, and it's interacting while you're recording the show, which I think is really cool. So I mean, it's amazing when people take time out to listen to the show or watch the show now, but whenever they do it live, it's like that. It's that instant gratification for the hosts.
Yeah,
because you know people are watching you. So we record the Chick Chat episode 6:30 p.m. Central Time on Sundays. It does change from time to time depending on schedules, but that is the time to watch for the notification. And actually, if you go over to YouTube, search for Jeep Talk Show, you can subscribe to the show. And I don't know, was it like they always talk about clicking the bell so you can get the notifications?
Yeah,
that would be an excellent way for you to know whenever we're going live. Because it's hard to keep up with. It's Sunday at 6:30.
Well, it's life.
I got my nap. Yeah, I'm taking my nap. Oh, I got to wake up. That type of thing.
I've had too much fun wheeling for the weekend. I'm now cleaning the Jeep. Oh wait, it's 6:30. I forgot.
And it's not even like sitting in front of the TV. I mean, you can definitely watch the YouTube live in front of a TV. For most all TVs or the devices you connect to them these days, you can do that. But hell, you can just do it from your phone. Cleaning the Jeep, you can just be watching it on the phone, which you'd be listening to, but you could also look at it whenever something interesting was going on that you wanted to see.
Especially Nikki G, because that's got video now, people, if you're not aware of that. And it's pretty darn hilarious.
Mm-hmm. So if you make your way over to our YouTube channel and make sure that you do, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. We love the comments. Comments are almost as fun as getting the live chat conversations. All right, so Jeep is making waves with its upcoming lineup. I think that's a load of bullshit, but that's what it says. The 20.
With all your little bells and whistles back there at Studio A, you need like a bullshit meter bell or something that just does the bullshit thing.
What kind of sound would we use for bullshit? Would it be like a farting noise or maybe a large farting noise and a...
If it's a guy, I guess. If he's farting, if it's a girl, I'm not sure what we would use because you already have the bell, but that's more like a, hey.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
We got to find something for the bullshit meter.
Exactly.
Almost like a boing, like a little, like those the stoppers you put in doors in the old days.
Oh, the boing,
the door from bang. Yeah, the banging. That'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anyway,
So the 2026 Jeep Cherokee is in development, promising a successor to the discontinued model with a sleeker, more modern design to compete with the Toyota RAV4 and the Honda CR-V.
No.
I know.
Are you kidding me? I thought we got rid of the guy at the top.
That's what it says. So this is according to Car Scoops from March 23rd. So we'll see what it means.
We'll see what it looks like and how you can add to it and modify.
Here's another plus for you. It'll ride on Stellantis' large platform, offering internal combustion engine, hybrid, and possible an all-electric option later.
Wah, wah, wah. Okay.
Oh, I do have that one.
There you go.
There you go. Think bigger interiors and fancy digital cockpit.
Oh, dear. You knew that one for the Jetsons.
Oh, yeah. Where is that one? There we go.
Sorry. Our listeners are like, what has gone wrong with these two? They're pushing buttons, people. We're having fun.
I'd like to get this thing set up so that we could get like Steve-O or somebody like a producer type person to press the buttons.
To press the buttons for us when he hears something.
And I'm always afraid because whenever I first got these things, I was pushing these buttons all the time because it's just fun to do, you know?
It is.
And then you get a new guy and he's just pressing the buttons all the time. It's like, Steve, stop.
Kind of like around the holidays when we have to do the turkey. Okay, so I have a question. I had to do that. I have a question about it. So I like the words think bigger interiors, but yet you're designing after a RAV4 or a Honda CR-V, which are tiny little cars.
It's a stinking Jeep. It's
going to be what, thin metal with,
it's not a bus.
I want to see the pictures.
I want a TARDIS Jeep where it's huge. It's much bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
Exactly. All right.
People go, TARDIS? What the hell's that?
What the hell's that?
All right. So meanwhile, the 2027 Jeep Compass teaser sketch dropped recently, showing off bold, masculine, interesting lines on the Stellantis media or the STLA. Wait. I was thinking STLA is the what do you call it? The code for
stock
the
exchange.
Stock, yeah. But they're saying masculine lines on the STLA medium platform. And STLA, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm thinking about that wrong. I need to look that up. But it says STLA medium platform. I'm translated that to Stellantis. So who knows? It's our job to present the news and know, but we don't. We're just going to present the news.
We need to know someone to write in. What do these initials stand for? And be nice.
we need Josh back because Josh should be able to answer that question. He does research.
He's probably, this is what it means.
He just doesn't get it and read it.
Oh gosh.
So this 2027 Jeep Compass is set to be a key player in Jeep's turnaround, especially with over 111,000 units sold last year. This is according to Yahoo Autos in their March 15th.
So why change it then? If you're selling that many units, people like it. Why would you then?
Because it's going to be better, and they'll double the sales.
And I'm sorry, what are masculine lines? I kind of want to know, because do we need feminine lines, or have we had feminine lines all along?
I'm thinking
that's why the Compass sold for 111,000 units.
I'm thinking it's coming with truck nuts.
You mean literally? Here's some nuts. Hang them on the back bumper. Is that how that works?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So, which is confusing because when there was truck nuts on a vehicle with a drive shaft, it kind of makes sense. But this is IFS front wheel drive. So it's a poser, best you can put.
So when are we going to get that sketch? Like, can we actually see it? And
it should be available now. I don't have it here in the show notes, but it should be available now.
Oh, I can't wait. So we're going to have a sleeker, more modern design to the Cherokee coming up based off of the Toyota RAV4 and the Honda CR-V.
So production plans are shifting, though. Stellantis paused retooling at its Brampton, Ontario plant for the next-gen Compass due to tariff uncertainties and strategies reevaluating. This is according to Detroit News in February 2025. I think we've reported on this before, but I think it's still pertinent to what's going on because the tariffs... Yeah. I haven't had time to, depending on how your view of it, trash the economy and show Trump as a failure, or work.
And I'm not sure they start yet. I saw there was April 2nd. They were going to be enforcing some of that stuff. So
yeah, I think the various automobile manufacturers had asked for a breathing room, and frankly, I don't know how 30 days makes a damn bit of difference, but whatever. But anyway, there's tariffs going on. I was talking to a gentleman the other day who has a business, and he's concerned. He says the whole market is concerned about tariffs because it's just an unknown. They don't know what it's going to do. And businesses need to make a plan. They have to plan for the future, as many of us do. But I'm willing to give it a try because, we've had what we've had for a while now. I mean, decades. I'm not just talking about Biden, and I think that it's worth giving it a try. And if it works out, wonderful. At least we're trying something different.
Something different, yeah.
Yeah, and I know it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to make a change and have those and wait and worry about what is this going to do. Somebody's doing something different. Oh my God, just leave it alone. And I get that, but it potentially could be a big deal for the U.S. economy. And I think this is also too good. What we were just reading about the production plans, they don't know for sure if they want to do this thing in Ontario, Canada, or not because of the tariffs. And that may mean that people in the United States are going to be there's going to be more people doing jobs in the United States. To keep from having those tariffs.
Well, they're already reporting a bunch of jobs coming back, and we're not talking 100, we're talking thousands, if not a million jobs coming back into the United States. So I think it's going to be good. We'll see. We don't know.
I certainly hope so. I mean, you never know when these things, when these mass changes happen. It's amazing. But I'll tell you this, we do this every 4 years. And it's amazing how big a country we are, how popular we are financially. I mean, we are the number one purchaser of the world. And that's another reason why the tariffs may work. It's like, oh hell, we can't lose those customers. Those fat, stupid Americans. We need their money.
We need it. So
we're going to take their money and act nice to them while we're selling stuff, and then be ugly to them when they visit Paris.
Yeah, when they turn their back. Oh gosh.
All right. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. And now I know you remember this story, Wendy. Tech-wise, some Jeep owners are still griping about pop-up ads for extended warranties clogging their dashboards. This is horrific.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to get away from this stuff. I mean, you could pump some gas and not have to be bombarded with advertisement. That's gone. And then there was also, I think it came out in banks first. I mean, at least for Chase, I remember they had they go through this $100,000 million upgrades to the branches. And now when you go through the drive-through, which I never do anymore, you get to watch commercials and they have audio. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I'm not interested in your stinking advertising.
Exactly. I want to be off the trail and be away from everything.
I wonder how long it's going to be before we get pop-ups on our cell phones.
Well, it's kind of already happening. If you follow Facebook or Instagram, you get all kinds of weird ads. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kind of already happening.
Yeah. But I mean, where you're just doing something and it
goes bing.
Yeah, maybe your screensaver comes on and it's like, hey, we notice you're not doing anything to your phone. Pay attention to us for a second.
Well, and we're almost there, because when you talk about, have you had this happen, Tony? Talk about some topic, doesn't matter what it is. The next thing you know, you're getting ads in your emails, you're getting ads in Facebook, Instagram, whatever you follow social media wise, that follow whatever that topic is. And you're going, oh man, they're listening all the time.
So this is a good point. We could run a test with our audience. So I want everybody that's watching this YouTube video on their phone to say tranny fluid 5 times.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And then report back on what kind of advertisements that you've gotten.
Tranny fluid. My phone's right here. Tranny fluid.
You get some O'Reilly stuff.
Who knows what I'm going to get now?
All right. So anyway, the $20 billion revenue push, but a software glitch made them tough to dismiss. So talking about the TechWise and the ads popping up on the dash, I'd like to know from anybody out there, have you seen one of these things? My understanding is that people come to a stop. Like they come to a stoplight or a stop sign, and this warranty thing comes up. I'd like to know if there's audio along with it. I would hope that it's muted, and then you can, if you want to listen to the ad, you can press a button.
I suppose you could turn the radio down, but then, so distracted driving much, you should be paying attention. You shouldn't have to look down.
That ain't happening. This is 2025. There's nobody paying attention to driving.
I know.
It's kind of like we need full self-driving so we can do whatever the hell we want to do that isn't paying attention to the road.
Well, then you're going to have major ads, right? It's going to be the whole screen. Like when you pump gas, sometimes have you seen that little screen on the gas pump and it has some kind of an ad? You can't even understand them half the time. Yeah. I don't know.
It's all fun. It's almost as scary as a sea attendant. That's like we mentioned before. That's drive to the next gas station.
That's it. Yeah,
I don't need any human interaction.
I'm out of here.
Especially with the person running the little store. All right, so let's see, what is it? Software glitch? Yeah. There's no fix to that yet that we know of. On a brighter note, the 2025 Jeep Gladiator Big Bear Edition. Have you heard about this?
I heard it, but I haven't seen it yet. I want to see what it is.
So,
what makes it Big Bear Edition?
I'm thinking there has to be something in there about bearing arms. This would be a perfect crossover.
Yeah, but not in California.
No, it would be the Big Bear Bearing Arms Edition.
Yeah, bring it on. Probably, maybe it's coming on 37s. Maybe it is already lifted. I mean, think about it. What are they promoting for Big Bear? You got to go in the mountains, and those trails need something a little bigger.
So I'm not trying to jinx you, but I'm thinking it probably comes on fire with all the California with the California fires and stuff. Maybe a little crisp around the edges. I survived.
It's probably got some image of bears and trees and something on it. And they're going to charge you 20 extra thousand for the decal.
Bears on fire. It's almost like bears on ice.
That's horrible. That is just awful. I want to see pictures. Someone needs to send me a picture.
Exactly. So it's just launched as a California exclusive pickup, blending trail chops with truck utility. And this is from Car and Driver of the March 24th edition.
So maybe they're doing a bigger tow package, or maybe it's got to be more rugged. I'm thinking if they're calling it Big Bear, they got to do something. So it's out the gate, out the showroom floor. You could do a lot of these trails. I'm wondering. I'm curious. Got to dig into it.
So I think it's okay to talk about this. If it isn't, then I'll just take the hit for it. Did you know? We've talked about G-tops here before. I've got a set of G-tops on my Gladiator. They make them for the Wranglers and the Gladiators.
Right.
And basically, they take your Freedom panels, cut a big honking hole in it, and replace it with a nice piece of very clear, nice, heavy duty, not plexiglass, but a polymer. And it's just wonderful. It's like having the Freedom panels off, but your AC and your heat and the hail that we get here in Texas doesn't hit you on the head.
And the elements
while you're scrambling to get your Freedom panels on,
right,
or flip that cloth top over from Best Top. But anyway, they are going to be available through the dealers here soon. So you will be able to order or go buy some G-tops.
Nice.
From any of the dealers across the country.
Good for them. They've expanded. Absolutely. That's amazing. I'm so excited about that.
It's a wonderful product. They've been advertiser here before. I mean, Chris provided me the tops for my Gladiator. He actually provided tops for Chris, Jeep Talk Show Chris, his Gladiator as well. So anytime Chris is going to be anywhere and you meet him, say, hey, I'd like to see the G-tops so you can see them in person. You'll be very impressed. I was a little concerned initially, but I got a set of loaners for EGS last year, and they were wonderful. The wife and I just loved going to EGS, being able to see from out the sides and out the top. And I know you can take the top off and look at it that way, but it gets a little chilly. It snowed, and we even had some rain, and we didn't have any problems with the G-tops on there because we were able to experience 360 without getting wet.
Yeah, and now let me ask you about the heat, because I know it gets hot in Texas. So what about that? Because the sun here in the desert can be pretty brutal for us.
It's a very common question. I asked my wife when we got back from Moab, because we went through various climates. The 20-hour drive from Texas, and I think the best thing I can tell you is I didn't notice any difference.
Okay, so you didn't feel additional heat coming in, right?
Yeah, I didn't think to myself, oh my God, why am I so hot? I mean, we do have AC,
Right. Yeah, but still, when you have that heat coming off the top, you can feel it even in my JK. You touch the roof of it or the interior, you're like, whoa, you can feel the heat coming in. So I'm assuming if you take some of that part off and it's, it's not glass, but you have that clear view, the sun's just going to shine right in. But you're saying it doesn't. It actually has a filter.
I don't think that it's any hotter than light coming in through the glass, through the sides. Now it is perfect. It is a little rough, like around noon, depending on the direction you're going, because the sun is right there and can be right in your eyes coming through the top.
Yeah, sure.
And I had my baseball cap on, and I just kind of pulled the bill down a little bit, and because it wasn't like where I couldn't block it out that way. And they do have panels that you can put up there that are not opaque, but they knock down the light and any heat that you may be feeling. I like it. I have not had. I mean, I've had it for over a year now, and certainly that means Southeast Texas summers as well. And the big test is the wife hasn't complained about it.
Well, that's huge right there. Because as we talk about, when you have a passenger, whether it's your wife, your spouse, your significant other, your friends, they have to be comfortable. So that's good. Yeah.
Oh no, she would, and she definitely would say something that she doesn't like it or whatever, but she's been very happy with it. So yeah, I guess that ought to be one of the things I use for a selling tool. G-tops, your spouse will love them.
Yeah.
and not complain.
Yeah. And not complain. Oh, I love it.
All right. So Jeep's first design took 2 days. In 1940, Karl Probst, does that sound right? Probst. Working for the American Bantam Car Company, drafted the initial Jeep prototype called the Bantam Reconnaissance Car, BRC.
I like it.
I got to say that with an accent. BRC.
Yeah, I know. I just did the same thing. I'm like, where'd that come from? I like it.
In just 2 days, facing a tight 49-day. He could have taken it in 49 days. He could have spent a little more time on that design. 2 days.
But when you got it good and you know exactly what you're doing, 2 days is all you need.
I don't think the Army thought he had the right thing here. Anyway, it was a tight 49-day U.S. Army deadline. Bantam delivered, but its small size lost it mass production contract to Willys and Ford, who redefined the design into the iconic Willys MB. Should have taken 3 days. Just one more day, you would have got the contract.
Well, even 40, you could have had it. So, darn it.
Missed it by that much.
Yep. Love it. Well, have you guys seen the new Jeep commercial that just came out for National Puppy Day, which was, that was a couple days ago, March 23rd. It is so darn cute. Of course, they're pushing Jeeps, but they have 3 Beagle puppies, and they have them named. One of them's Ruby, one of them's Willys, and one's the Gladiator. It is so darn cute. What a neat way to promote dogs and Jeeps. Anyway, check it out. Probably have to Google that on Facebook or Instagram. Came through my feed, so it was fun to see that. But you know what? If you've been wheeling, there's lots of dogs that love Jeeping. Some more than their owners, by the way. Mm-hmm. Some dogs are just so excited to get out there and go for it. So I thought I'd just give a couple of tips because it is starting to heat up and we need to think about how to care for our dogs when we're out there. And again, this could apply to cats. This could apply to other animals. I'm sure there's people wheeling with all different kinds of critters, which we would love to hear. What it is that you wheel with, if you have an animal that you're wheeling with. I think that'd be fun to do. A little show on that and maybe highlight some of our listeners, Tony, that show us pictures and we could talk about it. So
sure.
Anyhow. All right. So when you bring your dog, you need to obviously bring plenty of water in a bowl. We kind of know that. But if you're really near a lake or beach, you probably want some kind of a towel in a pond for sure. I remember one time riding horses and our dogs jumped in the pond. And when they came out, it was like, oh, we are not putting you back in the car.
Yeah.
Because ponds tend to be more stagnant as opposed to lakes and beaches. So keep that in mind that you may have a very smelly, stinky dog. So having some extra towels could be a benefit before letting them back into your Jeep. You definitely need poop cleanup bags. I talk about this a lot just when you are, packing it in store and packing it out. That's where having a big old sack on the back of your maybe spare tire that you can pick up after your dog. It just is important to be cognizant, especially if you're doing Jeeping around more of an actual park, or maybe you're at the beach. You got to pick up and follow the rules of those kind of areas. So you always want to be considerate of others. I know that we all love our dogs and we think our dogs love everybody else, but that's not always everybody. Sometimes people can be wheeling in a group and maybe they're not sure about dogs or they're afraid. So just be cognizant that you look and see what's happening with your dog. You stop for lunch, don't let them roam around, have them on a leash is what I'm trying to say. You definitely want to have a leash. They need a collar and a harness. Tags with ID is important. If your dog is a runner or is prey driven and likes to chase wildlife, there may be a deer that comes by. There could be bunnies, all kinds of things. Hopefully not a coyote, but so you want to make sure.
I think the tags are important even if your dog isn't a runner.
Well, that's true.
Because just because they haven't doesn't mean they won't. And you don't want to lose your friend.
No, and it is important just to have them. You should have that anyway. But up here in Big Bear, we see all the time where people say, my dog got out and got lost and there's no tags. You're like, oh my gosh. You can also microchip your dogs if you haven't done that. But definitely tags with ID and make sure that the ID that's on there is working. I know times there are people put phone numbers down and then they've changed numbers and they forget to change the tags, so
need a QR code. They need to come up with QR codes on there.
Hey, it's probably already there. You also want to check the weather for where you're wheeling, if it's hot or humid. You may need to be running the air all the time in your vehicle, which is why I personally don't run with Freedom tops or, with the top completely off and the doors off, is because we usually have a dog or two with us. And it's usually very hot in the desert. It can be warm at times. And depending on the breed of dog that you have, we like to run the air. So that makes it tougher for them. Yeah, I know. I don't have wimpy dogs, but I know some people have all open and they've got
dogs don't sweat. They pant. Mm-hmm. And exactly. And I don't know how efficient that is. I mean, obviously they don't die, but I think it's important for your dogs to be cool. I mean, it's going to ruin the time for not only the dog, but you, because you're worried about them.
Well, yeah. And if you're out in the middle of nowhere, there's not like a vet hanging around. It's going to take you, an hour to get to the road to get to a vet. So you got to make sure that you don't do that. For us in the desert, we don't take the dogs when it's summertime because we know it's going to be 100 plus or 110. There's no sense in even doing that.
Well, you got to be concerned about their paws too, touching the surfaces of rocks and things.
Especially the asphalt. If you're out in a more public place, asphalt is so bad for them. Bill actually hooked up just a small fan that we plugged into our electrical, and we can click it on, and it puts air. Because the 2008 JK doesn't have air in the back seat or back in the back. So that air comes from the front of the Jeep and has to be pushed back. So we've done that to help accommodate when we do have some hot days. So if you're running topless or doorless, can you maybe want to consider tethering your dog so they can't fall out?
Yeah.
But I see people don't do it. So,
well, I can also too think that, I don't think anybody wants to do a rollover, but what happens to the dog if you have a rollover and they're tethered in?
Why? Yeah. And also you need to have tags and, that kind of stuff. Goggles might be something too. If you are in the desert, maybe you're whipping through trails and, doing 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. That rock and gravel and things that can, sand can get into their eyes and create problems. It's also, there's a brand called Rex Spec that makes a great goggle for dogs. Super easy. It shields them from that sun. So that might be something to consider as well. Mm-hmm. And then Tony, you talked about the feet. So there are booties that you can consider. I know real men don't use booties, but if it's, rock or gravel or pavement, those temps make it very difficult to walk, and you can actually burn the paws.
Oh yeah,
really easily.
Well, how many Jeepers are out there barefoot? I know it happens. I'm sure it happens, but yeah. That's the difference because the dogs are barefoot. Yeah. I know that they're designed to be able to stand more of it, but boy, when it goes and it burns, you're going to have a really miserable dog, and you're going to be treating that dog's feet for a while.
Yeah, and that comes to mind, if you will, with your dog a lot or all the time. You definitely want to have a first aid kit just for them. You might get a cut, but they could get a snake bite. They could have burned feet. So you need to know how to use those items in that first aid kit for the dogs. You just want to be prepared. And you want to also consider having extra food and water just in case you get stranded and need to spend the night. That includes meds too. So just make sure you do that. Listen, we would love to see any pictures you have. Show us, who's your companion, who's out there wheeling with you. Show us your dogs, your cats, whatever animal you're wheeling with. And we'd love to see that. You can do it through Instagram. You can go on Jeep Talk Show /contact, reach out to us via email. I'd love to see that. So let us know who you're wheeling with out there.
Hey, this is Nikki G, and I don't want to brag too much, but I have a 10 millimeter socket. Yeah. Damn it. That's not why I'm calling. I'm calling to tell. Why am I still doing this? I'm calling to tell you that my lovely wife. God damn it. Anyhow, moving on. My wife complained that I never buy her flowers. I didn't even know she was selling flowers. I really did lose it. I found it. You want to know why? It's 11 millimeters. I couldn't find my 10 millimeter. Oh, all right, boys and girls, I'll chat you later. Have a good one. Bye.
I think there's a connection between how badly you need a socket and it disappearing. I think that's what it is.
It's called Yeah.
I suspect the other socks are missing, but the only ones your favorite pair are the ones you want, and those are the ones you can't find. So that's why you can't find the one sock. It's the whole missing sock thing. Somewhere there's a universe full of 10 millimeter sockets and left or right socks.
Yes, and I think it also is dependent on how urgent you needed either that sock or that socket. So
if you can't find the socket or the wrench that you were just using, stand up and then look where you were sitting, because it's probably right there next to where you can't see it. So,
oh gosh, love that.
All right, so coming up this Friday, every Friday is an interview episode. Notice I don't say a new interview episode, because there's a possibility we could always have to do a rerun.
And we should. And you should once in a while, because they're good.
There's nothing wrong with that. I like doing the new ones always, though. But so anyway, this Friday, our interview episode is going to be with Pat Johnson from EGR USA. Do you know about EGRUSA.com, Wendy?
I don't. I'm going to admit that.
Yeah, so that's fine. I'm sure there's people out there that don't know about them, and this is a great opportunity for you to get to know more about them. One of the things that we talked about with them in the past was their top for the bed of the Gladiator. So it's neat from the standpoint, and I don't think they're the only ones doing this, but I think they have a really interesting way of doing this top. So it's a roll top. Think of the like a piano or one of those roll top desk type things.
Yeah, because it rolls like this, right?
Yeah,
it rolls,
but the cool thing is they have a really small, doesn't take up a lot of bed space, so you can still use the bed for the Gladiator, like for hauling things. It's a really small size-wise area where this thing rolls up, and you can open the cover, the bed cover, from inside your Jeep. You can just, and it has push buttons on the outside, so you can go over there and stand on the side of your bed, press the buttons, and have it roll open. And I think you can start and stop. So if you just want to have just X amount open, so, maybe you've got something you're carrying that needs to stick out, you don't have to roll it all the way open.
Wow, that's cool.
It's really cool. I encourage you to go have a look. We'll be talking about that and a few other products that they have. They also have the cowl, those little side pieces, the cowl side pieces.
Yes.
That you can replace that with a color matched side light. So it actually will give you lighting to the side, which, we don't always focus on when we're doing lighting on Jeeps. It's all full forward, some back.
Or below.
Yeah. And then maybe some people will angle their lights out a little bit from the sides to get some side light. This is completely side light. So this is a really neat deal. And it's also tied in with the signals. So it'll
that's good.
Warn the Prius that you're getting ready to come into their lane because you didn't see them.
Hey, there's a light flashing.
There's this huge light. Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
It's just saying aliens are coming.
That's right. So just go to EGR USA and make sure you catch our interview with Pat of EGR USA this Friday. All right, so did this Jeep show get your engine roaring? Show us some love by dropping a 5-star rating and a blazing review on your go-to podcast platform. It's your way to help us expand our Jeep family. And I'm just going to say, on YouTube, you can do a thumbs up, you can do a comment. It really helps us on YouTube whenever you get engaged in that, because YouTube says, oh, well, this channel is getting engagement for people. People are not only they're watching it, they're interacting with the channel. So it really helps us out. Any kind of comment. And I don't care if it's a thumbs down and a bad review. I think those things are kind of funny. But because we don't do everything perfectly.
No.
Anyway, it's your way to help us expand our Jeep family. Keep the adventure rolling by hitting follow on social media and joining our newsletter crew for the hottest Jeep updates, unmissable events, and just awesomeness of all kinds that we do here on the Jeep Talk Show. Hey, got a burning question or a wild idea for our next episode? Fire it over to us at xjtalk.com-llc. Thanks for cruising with us, and get ready for more thrilling journeys ahead, including EJS coming up next month. There's going to be a lot of Jeep Talk Show people out there. So maybe you'll get to interact with them or have a little time ask them some burning questions like, I don't know, whatever burning questions you may have. Wendy, thanks a lot, and we'll see you again next week.
Sounds good.
Broadcasting since 2010.
You're my friend. You're my new friend.